A very good afternoon and welcome to the Valley as we prepare to host Reading in our final pre-season fixture. Of course, this game was meant to be at the Select Car Leeson Stadium, and selfishly for me, I'm delighted that it's been moved, but it's a shame not to have fans in attendance. So I do hope wherever you are across the world, you're able to tune in this afternoon for free. We're on Charlton TV's website and also on YouTube. So we hope you are enjoying a sunny afternoon wherever you are across the world. You're joined by myself, Greg Stubley, and due course, Steve Brown will also be joining them up here in the gantry. For those who might only just be tuning in now, kickoff is delayed by 15 minutes. Reading were late to arrive here at the Valley. They got stuck in a bit of traffic en route. So kickoff has been delayed by 15 minutes, but don't worry, we've got a half an hour pre-match preview to bring you, and we'll start with a video from Tuesday night, where Tuesday night we faced Colchester United. We came away with a 2-0 win thanks to goals from Matty Godden and Carlton Grant. Let's have a look at the highlights. Well, win the ball back from Nibs in the penalty area and lays it off. The shot from Grant, good block coming in from Junior. That's a left ball in the box, comes back to Carlton Grant. Ball in, looking for Godden. It's a brilliant finish. That's a wonderful goal. It's the ball in from Kamiksho to Godden, peeling off his man. Kamiksho finds him, and then Godden does the rest with a wonderful first-time volley. Nibs on the left-hand side, back inside to Grant, and Charlton makes it two. Carlton Grant back in the Charlton shirt and back on the score sheet. 2 in 2 minutes. Shooting opportunity, saves from the goalkeeper. Well, there you are. There are the highlights from Tuesday night's victory over Colchester United. So, good, especially the first half was really encouraging. A lot of good performances out there. Carlton Grant returning back to the Charlton lineup with a goal. Good to see Matty Godden scoring. That's a wonderful assist from Billy Kamiksho as well. But following the game, Nathan Jones provided a pre-season squad update in his post-match interview, as well as giving us an insight into the club's transfer plans for the rest of the summer window. Let's have a listen to what Nathan had to say.
Nathan, a pre-season win at Colchester. What do you make of today's game?
No, really pleased. I thought we were excellent. You know, for
the weekend, it was really lacklustre on the weekend. We were passive in our press, passive in how we attacked, passive in how we passed the ball, and that's not mine. I was really frustrated on the weekend. But as you said, it's been disjointed, the pre-season, with the people we've had available, with the new ones coming in late, not being able to play them. So we are gathering a bit of sharpness, a little bit of momentum, and I think we saw that today. I think there's a lot more sharpness in our play, in everything we did, and I was really pleased. We moved the ball well, we kept a clean sheet, and as I said, pre-season's always tough, and you come up against teams that really want to do well against you. And the good thing is we've got real minutes and thing into everyone, and not picked up any injuries. So that's the big thing.
And speaking of sharpness, 2 really well taken goals as well.
Oh, wonderful! And first one, real training ground move, which I'm really pleased with. And then, if you want it to fall to someone, you want it to fall to Matty Godden, and we've really missed him, but that was brilliant for him to come back and score. And then a real good goal. I thought, I thought we could have had a few of those tonight. Just the final ball, just a little bit of composure, and that's what we got to add to the game. Because if we had that, then we had enough attacking moments, we had enough balls across the box, we had enough 1v1s in the final third, and we just need outcomes, and that's all it was. But wonderful, and great to see Carlin get on the thing. But listen, when we want to add quality and we bring in Carlin Grant, then that's what you kind of expect.
How are you feeling in terms of where the team's at?
Yeah, we're in a good place. There's still a few people needing minutes, but for the championships, if we look at the championship season work back, it's 2.5 weeks, 2.5 weeks of work, 2 more games. We've got a supplementary game as well on next Tuesday, so everyone will get minutes, and then we'll be in a far better place. We've got, we're in a good place physically. What we need now is that little sharpness, that little spark about our play, and that will come now in these weeks where we taper it down, leading into firstly the Charlton game, then obviously into the Derby game.
Speaking of physically, we've yet to see Collins, Sechenje, Michael Mbick and Josh Edwards in pre-season. How are they getting on? How far off are they?
Yeah, really well. So probably in order, you'll see Collins, you'll see Mika, and then we'll see Josh in that order. But Collins should play some part on the weekend, and then Mika won't be far behind him, God willing, and then Josh Edwards won't be far them, and then then we've got some real good options.
And how's Rob Apter progressing?
Yeah, Rob will be back as well. Quickly. Rob will be probably after Collins, in between Collins and Mika, in terms of he's not serious. He's just had a flare up in his thing. He had sort of stiffness in his knee in terms of what he done, but then now he's fine. So nothing serious, and he's back on grass today.
Milenik Ali joined the Addicts on Sunday. What will he bring to the side, and how far off is he getting minutes?
Well, again, he's done no pre-season at Luton really, so again we've got to build him up. But he'll add that. As I said last year when we let Rob go, we only probably had one player that could go 1v1 TC. There's a big impetus on him to supply and to create and to be that different. But now we have him, we have Carlin Grant, we have Rob, we have Milenik Ali. We're looking to bring another one as well. So then we'll have 5 1v1 options, which is what we need to evolve the playing style.
You mentioned bringing in more. Where are we looking at?
We're looking at midfield players. Looking at a midfield player. We want a real dominant midfield player. And we also want at the other side for competition for Rob on that side, and we are actively looking to do that, and this is why we've kept our powder dry.
And Reading, the final pre-season fixture on Saturday, how will you approach that?
In the same manner, it's a wonderful test. We've had some real good games against Reading. It's a real good test for us, and we're looking forward to it. It's another game where we get closer to the start. So we would like a little bit more sharpness, a little bit more spark in our play, and then we go from there.
Well, there you are. There was the thoughts of Nathan Jones post-game against Colchester. I found it quite interesting. He was being a bit open in terms of selection and what he'd like in the rest of the transfer window. Expecting another central midfielder and a right winger potentially through the door is the aim. But interesting to hear about the players returning as well. And a couple of them do feature for Charlton on the bench this afternoon. So we'll bring you the teams. Actually, we've only just got Reading's team, luckily, but we'll bring you the teams just before kick-off, as we've got, as a reminder, we're running later than planned here at the Valley due to Reading's late arrivals. The kick-off will be 2:15, should I say, instead of 1:15? 2:15 p.m. So you're very welcome wherever you are across the world tuning in. And I've got Steve Brown alongside me, just getting his paperwork ready. He's ready to go. He's had a pre-season himself. This is the final one for him, and then away to Cheltenham Town next weekend, where Charlotte Richardson and Brownie will take you through the game if you're unable to make it. But for the time being, here's our final pre-season friendly course, we've had a mixed few results here. Not here, sorry, but in pre-season in general. We've had a couple of wins, we've had a couple of draws, and we've had a defeat as well. So it'll be interesting to see what happens today. But I think Brownie's ready to tune in now. So I'll bring him in. Mr. Brown, how are we, mate?
I thought you said after 2. Anyway, I'm very well, thank you, Greg.
Paid by the minute.
Yeah, just texted Liz because he struggles to get in here, as you all know.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, is Mr. Lisby coming here? I think his son is actually starting. Yeah, his son Kyrese is starting for the opposition today. So we saw Lisby on Tuesday night and Lisby today. But Brownie, I was just talking before you came on air here about Tuesday night. Certainly the first half. No, pre-season friendlies are pre-season friendlies. Like you can't look into them too much. But what was quite pleasing for me as a supporter as well as a commentator for Tuesday night was the first half. We're starting to see real partnerships develop, and I always think pre-season, as well as the fitness, is about building those relationships and understandings between players, especially when you've got new players involved. And I thought Tuesday night was a great example of that. Yeah,
it was, and it was good to see, Kyle and Grant hit the ground running. And in terms of an impact, I thought we had an immediate impact. He linked up well with Nibs as well, which is encouraging, and they're both starting today. So, look, but bottom line is, I'll talk down pre-season because, and I will say I think pre-season's changed enormously. When you think about how you set up for pre-season now, you've got 9 substitutes available to you. Basically, the back 4 play the majority of the 90-minute games, but in front of that, there's almost 5 substitutes every game, so you're not really gearing up for night. It's almost a game within a game these days, which, get to 60 minutes, you see a triple substitution, and you see a couple more come for the end. So players, I think I said to you earlier, I don't think anyone's played a 90-minute game yet, which is extraordinary, really, when you think about it, when we've got our first competitive fixture next Saturday. But that is the game now. It's changed enormously since the 90s and 2000s. So, we spend millions and millions of pounds on data, sports science, analysis, and they know exactly what they're doing. But it was good to see those relationships starting to, forge in the first half on Tuesday. But then, like all pre-season games, the second half descends into a little bit of a mess because of the amount of changes you get. But that's where they're at. You can only get out of what, performance-wise, what time you've got on the pitch. And I thought there was quite a few players on Tuesday actually that performed very, very well. I'm really liking Comecchio as well at left centre half. I think he's showing up at the moment, and I thought 1 or 2 got a lot out of the game on Tuesday night.
Yeah, talking to Comecchio, of course, it was a wonderful assist for the Matty Godden goal, and there's maybe something about his game that we weren't expecting. We're expecting, when you look at his physique and you look at what he did at Dundee, you're expecting a centre-half who's going to be a bit dominant in the defensive area. But I think one thing that's really caught me out a little bit is how good he is on the ball, how comfortable he feels on the ball when he's looking for a forward pass. And not every single one comes off. We have seen a couple of wayward passes, but we will use the phrase, it is pre-season. But I thought on Tuesday night especially, some of that passing, there was one where he took the ball out of Sky, beat a player and then sent it down the line to Grant. It just shows another level that we're trying to get to, rather than maybe just clearing it out to Rose, which isn't always the worst option.
Well, no. I mean, you assess the danger you're in as a centre-half in regards to what you try and do with the ball. But what I do like about him is he's still relatively early in his career in terms of performances. So we've brought him in, and I think senior performances, he's only on about 50 or 60. So I think there's a lot more to come from him if he settles into a first team at this level and then starts to prove his worth. I think there's a potential there in terms of, a value, not just to the club, but economically as well, if we get his development right. And it was really encouraging to see him driving out with the ball. He looks very, very comfortable in possession. He likes to tackle balls up aerially. Physically, what is he, 6'4", 6'5", Greg?
Yeah.
You'll know the stats better than me. I'm a bit like pre-season myself. I don't really get going until we start playing competitive fixtures. But he looks like a really good addition, if I'm honest with you. And like I said, I've already spoke about Grant in the short time we had to watch on Tuesday. There was excellent intelligence, mixing up his game, the movement from inside to out and out to in, off the shoulder of the back line when it was appropriate to spin in behind. I thought, and he scored a wonderful goal linking up with Nibs. So I thought there was some real positives, and that. You're right, that ball from Kelechi, I think it come just as I was saying, we're lacking a bit of creativity, and he put that in.
That was perfect timing.
It was perfect. I cut off, and you cut in and finished the goal off marvellously, as you always do in comms. But I thought the movement from Godden went unnoticed because of the quality of the pass. But for every quality pass, you do need that instinctive movement off the shoulder, and Matty provided that. And as long as there's something to hit, something to aim at, because of that positive movement, you'll see balls like that. But not just Kelechi, but others within the team as well.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of talk, and pre-season is the time to trial these things. But the change of formation seems to be the biggest talking point this summer, as well as all the transfers and comings and goings, etc. But the talk of switching to a back four, the word evolution we've used every single game, that's been carried over from Nathan's comments at the end of last season. But this new formation, I thought Tuesday night was the prime example of how we want to play. Yes, it was against the League 2 opposition compared to, say, Wimbledon the week before, or Gillingham before that, which was also League 2. But this is a Charlton side that seems to be getting more understanding of how to play that formation and what they want from each other. There's players like Lloyd Jones, who's been fantastic for Charlton the last 2 seasons in the middle of the back three, that's now potentially having to adapt to what he was playing at, say, Cambridge before he even joined Charlton.
Yeah, but we're talking about professional footballers here, Greg, and if you switch from a back three to back four, yes, there are fundamental differences, but slight differences, and you'd expect most professionals to pick it up relatively quickly. You've still got a job to do defensively. Of course, he hasn't got protection either side anymore, but a lot of the fundamentals still apply. Communication for Lloyd is vital, in terms of commanding his fullback, when to stay, when to go. He'll command the 2 central midfielders in front because he wants protection in front and to his side. And then he's got to form a partnership with the left-sided centre-half, who is a new player. So, but what I would say is I don't think we should overthink, the job that a centre-half or fullback has to do going from wing-back to fullback or from a back three to a back four. Professional footballers working on it every day will pick things up very, very quickly. They should do anyway. If they're at this level, they should be able to pick things up very, very quickly. And the transition, should be quite smooth. Of course, there are going to be things that Nathan Jones will iron out. He'll see things he doesn't like and he'll want it ironed out. And you will have to adjust to your manager's way of thinking as a defender. But yeah, I think pre-season is more than long enough for every single player. If they've got to make micro changes to their positioning, they should be able to do so, no problem.
Yeah, one player I wanted to speak to you about was Carlton Grant, because I wasn't expecting him to look so sharp on Tuesday night, given it was his first pre-season game. Obviously, we're midway through pre-season as well, so sometimes those players coming back might take it a little bit easier. But from minute one, he looked up for it, scored a goal, was maybe unlucky not to get more than one. And that must give a lot of confidence, especially when we come back to the conversation we just had about the formation. But that's a player you've signed to identify it, who has been playing this formation for West Brom in the last few years, has scored goals in this division from that area, and someone who knows this club really well. To get that confidence going straight away, albeit being pre-season, feels like a very good moment for the club. Yeah, and I think if you're going to a 4-2-3-1, then you've got to fill the other side of that forward line. Is it Campbell? Can we switch him to the right, or does he prefer playing on the left? I think that's a question that they will find out over pre-season. He might even be starting there today. Do we put Tyrese out on the right and you have a bit of pace and a bit of trickery on both sides? Is it Miliali? He's come in, he plays the same side as Grant, but is there the option of playing him on the right? So I think what Nathan's done, or the club has done over this summer, is give themselves the options of playing, which I don't think we had last year. Go into a 4-2-3-1 or whatever it might look like, diamond formation, whatever that back four turns into, to a back three if he wants to. I think he's now got a variant in terms of players and positions they can play to be able to switch formations. And I think the one thing I thought
we became last year was a tad predictable in the system we played, and we played it very, very well defensively. We did struggle, offensively to unlock teams at times, but I think Nathan has now given himself the ability to switch between formations if he needs to do so. And actually, I think it puts players in positions that they are more accustomed to, rather than, I thought there was one or two playing in positions that they found quite difficult last year.
Well, yeah, just as a reminder, we've got 10 minutes until kick-off this afternoon. It was due to be 2 o'clock, but the game has... the kick-off has been delayed till 15:15 due to Reading getting here a little bit later. And, of course, the game was meant to be played at the Select Car Leeson Stadium, or the Medeski, as many will probably know it as, including you, Mr. Brown, who spent your final footballing years at Reading, and this is actually a fixture where you've actually got associations with both clubs. Yeah,
I never got to come back here with them, unfortunately, because I dropped back into the Championship. Do you know what? I was speaking to Adi Williams yesterday, and actually while I was walking into that, I was thinking about a pre-season we had together where it's quite a simple drill, 2 goals, 40 yards apart, 30 yards wide, and you number up either side of the goal, and your manager will shout out 2 versus 4, and 2 and 4 come out, and you have a little 1v1 battle. And they called me and Adi out, and we were very old heads by that point. And we went on this, like, we were determined not to lose to one another. Like, it's one of those things where no one says anything, but out of pride, you don't want to lose to the centre half you're playing next to. And I remember we went on for about a minute in this 1v1, and we were both exhausted, like, we couldn't beat each other because, we weren't good enough offensively. But I had a good chat with him, and it just brought back some very, very good memories. And Alan Pardew was putting together a very young, youthful side with bundles of energy. Steve Sidwell, James Harper, Andy Hughes, and Nicky Forster led the line. Had a couple of great fullbacks in Nicky Shorey and Murty, and an old horse on the wing, John Solaka, who was still one of the fittest players there. But it was just a wonderful club on the up, Greg, and I wanted to give it a bit of a mention during the comms. I can do it now, because when I went there, I left a club that was absolutely outstanding to be a part of. It was a family-orientated club. We were all together, and I couldn't have picked a better club to go to. It was a home from home, and I was only there a short period, but it had some wonderful people, some wonderful staff, had a very good chairman in John Medeski, and they were very much, like I said, they just left their old ground, gone to a new. We were filling it up, so crowds were 20,000 plus, and the first year I was here, we got to the playoffs, and barring an injury in the first 30 minutes of the semi-final to Nicky Forster, I think we could have perhaps beaten Wolves. We were ahead at the time, but that injury was pivotal. But like I said, yeah, a wonderful club. Couldn't have asked for more in terms of the change I made. Wonderful club to go and join, and great memories and some really good people.
Well, Reading find themselves in League One at the moment. They finished 12th last year. You might recall there was a takeover before the start of last season when they had quite a lot of ownership difficulties, and now are kind of seeing themselves a bit like what happened with Charlton, really, having that reset almost and going again. They've got Liam Richardson at the helm, who's got promoted out of League One with Wigan. They've made some decent signings. Kyrie Lisby, of course, we've spoken about already, who arrives from Colchester, full of talent, and I know Kev speaks he will, he's his son, but Kev speaks very highly of him in terms of his development. So he's been one of their big signings. Jacob Brown on a free from Luton, who spent time in the Championship last year with Portsmouth. Adoka Godwin Malief, who was a good part of Burton Albion's squad last year, and then Josh Stokes on loan from Bristol City, who impressed for Stockport, Cambridge on loan before that as well. So they've made some good signings. I'm sure there's probably more to come as well. They've lost a little bit of experience, and for Brownie and I's sake, we're absolutely delighted that they've lost Kelvin Apatioman to
good effort. Big Kelv's gone
to AC Horsens, which is a commentator's nightmare to poor old
Honestly,
Kelvin.
The best one I experienced with London, and he scored after 90 seconds, and we've been saying his name off air multiple times, and he scored in 90 seconds and no one attempted it. So we changed it to Big Kel.
Yeah, poor old Kelvin. But my thoughts are with our Danish colleagues.
Yeah, absolutely.
For the season ahead,
yeah.
But a very talented player, and I'm sure
he was good.
He'll do well there, and it's a bit of a loss for Reading. But yeah, we've got about 5 minutes until kick-off. We've got Kevin Lisby who's coming up, and we'll be spending time. We'll try and get him on air at half-time or something like that. He's already getting told off by Mr. Brown.
No, it's the timing of it. He never gets anywhere early. Like, never. Like, honestly, you do Charlton TV, he turns up 6 minutes before the start of Charlton TV. You know, and he's big. And he does this. He does his big smile, big high five, and you got to get on with him. Do you know what I mean? Right, so, yeah. A seat here for you. I know how those legs are giving way on you these days.
Yeah, I'm not here for long. My legs are really shaky.
There's a hell of a trek up here as well. To be fair to him, we'll get Kev on air at some point during the game. Maybe we'll get a bit of insight into his son and his team as well, in case any Reading fans are tuning in on YouTube or Charlton TV this afternoon. While we wait for the sides to come out, we'll bring you the two teams, and we'll start with our visitors, Reading, who are, as I said just now, managed by Liam Richardson. In goal is number 1, Joel Pereira. Number 3, is Jarrell Dorset. 4, Andy Riamota. 10, and captain Lewis Wing. 11, Daniel Kaira. 12, Udoka Godwin Malif. 16, Ben Ward. 17 is the trialist. 19, Kyrie Salisbury. 43, David Hicks, and 55, Rhys Evans. Substitutes for Reading are 48, Matt Rowley, 37, Luke Howard, 38, Phil Dua, 44, Tyler Saki, 47, Shea Spencer, 49, Emmanuel Osho, 50, Jerai Jones, 54, Sachet St. Louis, and 63, Matteo Dashi. Charlton will line up this afternoon as follows. In goals, number 1, Thomas Kaminski. 2, Kane Ramsey. 5, Lloyd Jones. 6, Connor Coventry. 7, Tyrese Campbell. 8, Harvey Nibbs. 9, Carlan Grant. 10, and captain is Greg Doherty. 12, Billy Camacho. 17, Amari Bell. And 24, Matty Godden. Charlton substitutes this afternoon is as follows. 25, Will Mannion. 4, Reece Burke. 11, Miles Leaburn. 15 is a trialist. 16, Nathan Asimwe. 18, Ivan Messick. 19, Menelik Ali. 20, Danny McNamara. 22, Tantor Alafe. 26, Joe Rankin Costello. 27, Ibrahim Fuller. 28, Colin Sechenje. 29, Daniel Kanu. 30, Keenan Goff. And 31, Alan Mwamba. Referee for this afternoon, Sonny Gill. He'll be assisted by Dan Cook and Greg Reid. Fourth official, Aji Ajabola. So, Brownie, first things first, the Charlton lineup. We've got Matty Godden lining up top again. Carlan Grant also retaining the spot from Tuesday night. They had 45 minutes. Maybe we'll get 60 today. We expect a mix of minutes today for various players, but it'd be interesting to see how they respond after playing Tuesday, because we were talking just beforehand how sharp both of those guys looked in the first 45 minutes they played the other night.
Yeah, and I think they'll want to jump straight back in because, like I said, it's our first competitive fixture next Saturday. And then, I don't want to play that one down because I think it's important we get off to a good start, if I'm honest with you. I don't see that one as a fixture where we can go and just play at 70% and see if we get through. I think we've got to get through just to start on the front foot. That takes us into that first league game against Derby where notoriously you're a bit more pumped up because there'll be a full house or near to capacity, and you want to start the season with a victory. It's important that we get off to a good start like we did last season. So I don't like the way pre-seasons are mapped out for you in this day and age, but I'm not part of it, and therefore they know what they're doing. But this we're not going to see anybody play 90 today either. So your first potential 90 is going to be next weekend, and I'm not sure. In my mind, that doesn't work. But, players do seem to be in very good condition in these days. And they know what they're doing. Like I said, they've got oodles of data that comes back to them that they can assess. But, yeah, I wouldn't want to see a split today. If the first competitive fixture was next weekend, I'd want to see 70s and 90s.
Well, yeah, of course, next weekend is our first competitive fixture, albeit not a league game. It's away at Cheltenham Town in the Carabao Cup, and it's another interesting one, really, because how you approach that as a manager. Do you show your card in terms of, this is my team, this is a perfect game, because if it doesn't quite work, yes, we always want to win, we want to get through in the cup, but if it doesn't quite work and there's some things that doesn't quite link up the way I thought it would, at least then I can react for the first league game of the season? Or is it a game where you go, actually, it's a good opportunity to mix and match still and keep people guessing for the first league game of the season?
Yeah, I don't think he can afford to, just because of the reasons I've said. If you're not getting 70 today, you know, and you don't get a 70 next week because he goes with a strong team again, and it might be similar to today, then you really haven't had enough minutes. But look, he'll pick the appropriate side that he thinks is strong enough between, you know, we have got a huge squad. You know, you look down at the substitutions today, Greg, we've got multiple options. We've got some very, very good players sat on that bench. And I think Nathan's got, you know, at this moment in time, a squad deep enough that he can put out what we might consider not the strongest side, but still should be strong enough to get through against Cheltenham. So I don't expect the same 11 to start next Saturday for sure, because the one thing that he will want more than anything as a manager is everybody available to him once we come to that derby game.
Well, it feels like COVID all over again as the Charlton side comes out. The Red Robin playing. Of course, we are missing supporters here in the stadium. There's only a handful of ground staff, a few family members. There's a couple of visiting team directors as well, but there's a handful of people inside here. The Valley, of course, for 2 weeks' time, we hope that's definitely not the case, and there's a full house as we host Derby County, and we look forward to welcoming fans across. You might, if you are watching on Charlton TV this afternoon or on YouTube, you might see the new dugouts again, their first appearance. I believe that will be fully covered eventually, but it's new seats for Nathan Jones and his staff. We'll see how long they remain intact, but it's a nice little feature, and it's good to be back here, of course, Bernard.
Yeah, and those dugouts have needed upgrading for the best part of 30 years.
Since your bottom's been on them.
Well, I never used to sit on the seat because they were horrible. I used to sit on a little bit of concrete to the side and watch from there. But yeah, again, you know, we talk about Charlton Athletic as a football club and where it's going, and you know, you do soon forget, Greg, that we were losing here to Forest Green not so long ago, right? And we've seen multiple upgrades to the stadium. You look across and that stand looks much better now. It's had the little paint job. The dugouts have improved. The pitch looks absolutely spectacular. And we're coming back and watching Championship football again this year. You know, and you will get the moans and the groans from people, which just naturally comes with following a football club. But actually, when you look back and you think about Crawley Town here and Forest Green and Cheltenham, and I think they probably all got results against us and we're all a bit disillusioned. You know, is it time to look down in this sunshine, looking across at the new dugouts with those really fancy seats, and think actually we've done well in the last couple of years. Women's team promoted as well, so you know there's a lot of positives to be seen across the football club. You know, and you know I don't think anybody plays down how tough this year will be. It's going to be a really tough year in the Championship, but we are fighting in the Championship, and we've got a squad that I think can deliver and again keep us into the Championship for another season to allow us to develop.
Yeah, I must say as well, the pitch looks absolutely fantastic, and it's going to have a 2-week recovery as well, which I think the ground staff will be very happy about. But the fact it's in this position, ready to go, and such short notice is a testament to the work that's been going on in the summer. As Reading now appear on the field, we were due to kick off a quarter past. It seems to be delayed another 5 minutes or so. Hopefully we will get underway shortly. But
to be fair, I know there was a bit of stick flying around in the office just a minute ago, but that is a disgusting journey. I had to do it for a couple of years from my base in Haywards Heath, and the M25 is a cruel mistress, and if you catch it wrong, and let me tell you, there'll be huge amounts of traffic out there today, and this is not the easiest ground to get to from Reading, but nevertheless, you know, as Alan Kirbshaw would say, geographically we haven't moved and you haven't moved, so work out the time frames to get here, and if you're late it's going to cost you, you know. So yeah, we're finally going to get underway in a couple of minutes or so.
No need for a Blackwall tunnel.
Oh God, don't set him off. Can you imagine Curbs here now? God, yeah.
Well, Charlton, as I said, line up the 4-2-3-1 that we've seen in pre-season already. Kane Ramsey right back, Jones, Kamicho centre half, Amari Bell at left back, Ivan Messick on the bench this occasion, Kaminsky in goal, and then Coventry, Greg Doherty at that back four, Harvey Nibbs playing off of Matty Godham with Carner Grant to left and Tyrese Campbell to the right. Looks like Charlton are going to have kick-off, shooting towards Jimmy C's stand, as per the norm here at the Valley.
In fact, we've got the sound system up for our 22 spectators.
And we are underway as Matty Godden back to Connor Coventry. Across to Kane Ramsey. And Charlton's final pre-season fixture is underway as Ramsey ball down the line looking for Campbell. It's cleared away. Charlton had the throw. Back it goes to Ramsey. Kamecho. Ball forward over the top of Godden. It's headed away and Reading will pick it up. But Coventry's first to it for Charlton. Nibs out to the right-hand side. It's Tyrese Campbell. Looks up, only Godden in the box. It goes the goal, and Godden has got the end of that. It's ball past the defence and had a play for a Reading goal kick.
Yep. Little turnover in possession. Love the fact we went to Campbell immediately and he was nice and positive on the front foot. Obviously a slightly different proposition for him today. He's going to try and attack on the outside. He did, and that was a wicked ball across the 6-yard box, and Matty might just be kicking himself there. He didn't get off the mark a bit quicker.
Pereira with the goal kick. Manchester United youngster will clear it long. Bell's first to it for Charlton. Ball forward gives Campbell something to chase as Ben Ward, the Reading centre half, comes across. Looks to deal with it. She does, up towards Lisby. He's competing with Bell. Comes away with the ball and inside to Coventry. Now Jones. Comes to Kamecho. Inside to Doherty, who's got Jones behind him. Ramsey, pull forward just beyond Godden. Nibs will give chase against his former side. As Pereira goes long. Here comes the way of Godden. Pulls the ball up and just trying to turn into a bit of space. Wasn't helped out by the Charlton midfield as the ball forward towards Lisby. He's made a great run, and Kaminski does superbly well to come out and prevent that. It's a wonderful run. It was a good pick out as well. Lisby was onside and Kaminski had to react.
Yeah, caught Bell out. You know, he was on his toes there, and Lisby in behind. Great ball, and that's super goalkeeping from Kaminski. Brilliant positioning.
Nibs out to Campbell as Charlton look to respond. Campbell the ball down the line looking for Nibs, and it's been cut out, and Nibs still fighting away in the penalty area. And Wing gets it out. Doherty first to the ball, and he's fouled. Charlton will have the free kick.
Yeah, I want to go back to that, but I thought the press was good actually initially from Charlton, which allowed Kamecho to come on. It was a really good header from the centre half, nice and strong into Godden's feet, and he couldn't make the most of it. And from that little turnover from Godden, like I say, Bell switched off, caught on the back foot, Hills planted, and Lisby got in behind. It was a really good run. That's excellent from Kaminski in these early stages. His positioning was superb, read the ball through, vital interception.
Grant with the free kick for Charlton. No one else is over this, but plenty of bodies in the box. Kamecho and Jones and Bell, three of those options as Grant whips it in, and it's a header away by Dorset at the near post. Kamecho tries to watch it go out for a corner. Instead, the ball's been brought away by the trialist for Reading. And back to Ward, who clears it away down the line. Doherty comes across and just plays safe. Reading will have the throw. Switch of play is going to be taken out by Kane Ramsey. As Grant cuts inside and take on his man and does so. He's got plenty of pace. Carlin Grant switches the play across towards Campbell. He's got Ramsey on the overlap. Campbell down the line for Grant, but the ball's past him.
Yeah, so if you want to see what pre-season's designed for, it's those little moments there. That's really good from Grant initially, deep in his own half. It's a wonderful switch out to Campbell, and then he made a run in behind Campbell, and I think you leave that space. You've got Ramsey on the overlap, committing to that little 2v1 numerical advantage. You've got Campbell 1v1 with his opponent, and actually Grant's run sort of forced Campbell into passing it, and I'd like to have seen him 1v1 with Ramsey as an option on the outside, but excellent initial play from Grant.
Dorset with the throw. Now wing. Godwin relief to his right. Further right to Lisby. Take it past Bell, books the cross. There's Grant down the line as Grant looks for the run of Nibs. That's been cut out by Lewis Wing. Puts the ball in the box. There's a neat touch from Evans towards Hicks. That's the ball forward by Minamoto out to Godwin Malief. Ball in the box is headed away by Ramsey. It's neat play and it will find the way of Evans, and Evans will shoot, and it's a good block by Jones. As Ramsey tries to tidy up, but the ball back to Kaminski's a bit sloppy, and Reading have started well here.
Yeah, that was a really good spell of possession for Reading, and they kept the pressure on, keeping the ball in the final third. Lovely little ball out to this right-hand side, and I think it was Rinamoto with the cross. And that was an excellent ball on the inside shoulder for that run on the outside. Delivery was decent. Good covering header from Ramsey. And then that was a real opportunity, a miss-hit shot that just fell, I think, to Evans. And I thought he could have done a little bit better with that. It's a good block from Jones. I think Evans will be kicking himself. He hasn't got a better shot away.
Big wing to take the corner. Towards the near post is headed away by Grant. TC gets to the ball. Now Nibs out the right towards Grant. Just over the hit, but better from Tyrese Campbell just to get ahead of the Reading midfield and then find Nibs.
Yeah, and I don't know if this is an intentional swap, but Grant will stay right. Campbell's come left. I think they'll swap back quickly, but I mean that's come quite quickly into the game, hasn't it?
Reading with the throw goes back to Ward and then back to the goalkeeper Pereira. Still under 17s, trialist across to Ward. To Pereira, who look forward. Uses Ward close by again. He can step out defence into the middle towards Evans, who's closed down by Coventry. Ball forward out to left. There's good movement from Reading as Lisby makes a run forward again, and Kaminski does well to come back and just cut that off. Kaminski gathers.
Yeah, I mean that's perfect in terms of what Charlton require. Did we get the press right? Not quite. We didn't accelerate into it when that first ball went into midfield, and give Evans credit. Excellent turn deep into his own half, which led to breaking the lines and into that ball over the top. But yeah, they're great moments for a manager in terms of analysis to work on. We didn't quite get it right. We went for it, and Reading played through it.
Jones out to the right to Ramsey as Coventry short for it. Grant finds Coventry down the line to Godden. Ward made the challenge. It was a good one.
Bonus. Got the ricochet off of Godden for the throw into Reading. I mean, the first thing to say is it's a very competitive fixture, which is great. Exactly what we need with our with our cup game next Saturday.
Relief just stepping past Campbell. Come over to this left-hand side for the time being. There's Wing. Challenge comes in from Nibs. It's a good one, but it falls kindly for Runamoto. Now, covering Relief again. Wing with the ball down the line and will release Lisby. Lisby looks up. He's got options in the box. One of those is Evans, who comes across, but he can't guide his shot on target. Charlton goal kick.
Yeah, and that's a really good move from Reading. Ball in the right back area, and it's Hicks who's causing a bit of trouble. He sort of plays up alongside Evans and then he drops into the 10 roll, and from that 10 roll he'll drop even deeper to receive. And they just got a little 2v1 against Bell, and he went for Hicks, which I think as a fullback you've got to leave. Stay with Lisby, let Hicks go and receive. But once he went into Hicks, Lisby made a great run off down the right-hand side into the channel, received and crossed. So just something that Charlton have got to look out for. That's excellent from Hicks in terms of getting that numerical advantage in that right-hand area for Reading.
So trying to find Campbell, and the ball back as Going to play for a Charlton throw. Campbell's gone back over to the right, Grant to the left. Kaminski across to Kmetcho. So towards Grant, into control, now turns Carl and Grant. Return to the Valley. Back to Coventry, and the ball's across to Ramsey. Just went under his foot, Kane Ramsey.
Yeah, well, I like the way they moved that. Grant looks sharp, coming inside, finds Coventry, and he moves it quickly and with purpose. And the pace on the ball is how it should be played in pre-season. Ramsey not dealing with that one.
Ward now for Reading. Stepping forward, and Nibs tries to prevent the ball inside as the ball's back to Pereira. Goes to Ward again. On the line finds Dorset. Further down the line, Kaira, the ball in the box, and Kaminski gathers well. It's good movement from Reading.
Yeah, and again, there's an example of us not getting the press right. Campbell should have dropped deeper, allowed the player in possession to be pressurised by Nibs, and because he didn't track back quick enough, they got the ball on the outside and had the attack.
Kaira again lays it off, and the shot comes in from Evans. Well blocked. Oh, it's actually Hicks with the effort in the end. It was well blocked by a combination of Kmetcho and Doherty back there for Charlton, who looked to find an out ball. Doherty can't do that as Nisbet gets back, and Doherty did really well to come back and just help out his defence after initially losing out. Ward across to Dorset, who can bring the ball forward. And line to Minamoto, the centre midfielder, who's actually just hugging that touchline for the time being. Dorset now down the line. Carrera looking to take on Campbell. He's got an opportunity to do so again. Taking on's the cry from the Reading bench as he steps inside. Motor back to Dorset now. Wing. Looks up to shoot from range and does so. Kaminski diving to his right. Not too far wide. He's certainly capable. Lewis Wing from range. We've seen that across the EFL in his career.
Yeah, went for placement. Wasn't a million miles away. Had Kaminski scrambling, but the worry for me in all that build-up, Reading starting to take control of the game, possession-wise, is that we're ending up with Campbell at right back and Ramsey tucked in alongside Jones. So we need to find a way to get some instructions out there that, Campbell isn't being forced into a right back position. We need to get him in the advanced areas, doing what he does best.
This ball breaks and Reading will have it again. Hicks now out to left inside. Here taking on Nibs out to Dorset. Forced backwards by Ramsey.
Yes, I think we can press that quicker. He's not in a rush to do anything. Motor's having a bit of a field day, can we pressurise him and force him into a mistake a bit better?
Goes all the way back to Pereira, but Reading are comfortable in possession so far. 15 minutes here as Hicks out to the right to Godwin Relief, inside to Wing again, ball forward. Jones will have to deal with it, heads it out of danger. Murray Bell comes across for Charlton and it's a bit of an awkward situation. Back to Kmetcho, who clears it away up towards Godwin. He's having his shirt pulled by Ward, and still does really well to come away with the ball. Now Ramsey down the line to Campbell. Opportunity to take on Dorset, goes on the outside. Still with it, Tyrese Campbell shows a good turn of pace. Dorset stays with him. Campbell, ball in the box is a brilliant one. Nibs didn't gamble. The ball was going there, but it comes out to Grant on the left-hand side. Ball in is cut out well by Godwin Belief, but Bell's first to it for Charlton. Back to Coventry now. Grant. Cross to Bell. Connor Coventry once more. Inside to Doherty, who turns. Ramsey. Campbell made a little movement to go inside and went out, but Charlton still have it as Ramsey finds Nibs, who makes a good run. Ward comes across. It's a touch on the ball, has to keep it in play. Tries to clear it back off Harvey Nibbs, who's got the better of Ward. Stays on his feet. Back to Campbell. Ramsey now across to Coventry. He's got Camacho to his left. Camacho the ball in, looking for Godden. It was a nice little move from Matty Godden, and the ball just didn't quite find him. Those two combined nicely on Tuesday night. We saw another example of that.
Yeah, slightly different movement. Instead of off the shoulder on the diagonal away from the ball, he's come across his man, towards the ball, and just Camacho just slightly too much pace on it. But I really love that attack from Campbell again on that right hand side, on the outside, wicked delivery across the box. And we're just not anticipating that ball leaving his foot and the pace on the ball. It was Nibbs this time, not really leaving early.
Charlton giving it away as Kaminski can't find Coventry. Here's Wing. Lisby to the right. Opportunity to take on Bell. Ball into the box, should be gathered by Kaminski, and it is.
Yeah, again, could we got a fraction tighter to stop the cross? We are a week away,
Kaminski rolls it out to Camacho, now Bell. And inside towards Nibbs is a good one, and Nibbs fills off Inamoto and just holds it up. Waits for Doherty behind him. Doherty with Hicks behind him. Just to Camacho. Now Lloyd Jones is trying to push forward. Inside is Coventry. And across to Doherty. Grant, that's a neat ball to find Coventry. He's able to turn. He's got Tyrese Campbell on the right hand side in plenty of space. Ramsey makes a run down the line. Here is Kane Ramsey. Campbell. Coventry with the crosses. Taking deflection en route. Reading will deal with it. Still to break through Evans, who keeps it in play. The striker, he's got plenty of pace. Ramsey's quick to get back, makes the challenge, wins the ball.
Yeah, if you're Evans, you've got to keep the ball on the left-hand side, knowing that pressure's coming from your right-hand side. You just showed too much of the ball for Ramsey, and he doesn't need asking twice. He loves those kind of moments.
Bell finds Carl and Grant. To Camacho. Coventry now. Godden makes a run forward. The idea was right from Coventry, just the wrong execution as the trialist cuts it out. Win the leaf now. Side to Lisby, looks at the 1-2, gets it back. It's good football from Reading. It's Grant. Does really well to follow him all the way, and just to have fouled his man, which looks a little harsh at first viewing.
No, it's a good battle. I would have just let that one go. But then I haven't done my badges, so I'll go with the ref. But yeah, just go back to that last Charlton move. I thought there was some good movement actually. Ramsey inverted into a midfield spot. Coventry deep with Doherty. And that leaves Campbell really wide and high in the right-hand position. And we switched it out to him, and Ramsey got off the shoulder of his marker. And he got played in, and that's when I want to see an end product, not come back again and keep the ball. Like, you're in those advanced areas, get yourself an end product.
Wing to take the free kick, whips it in with pace. It's headed up in the air by Bell. And a little bit of confusion as to who was dealing with that. Kaminski is the one who does deal with it in the end. Catches and rolls it out to Grant. Wanted to switch the play.
It's on. Do you know what? The ball in behind. There's 60 yards of space in behind the Reading back line. Grant's looking at it. It's a tough ball, don't get me wrong. But if you see a really positive run from Campbell and he goes, at speed off the shoulder of the left back, you'll play it.
Ramsey almost picked out Godden. Whether he'd been on the side or not is another question, but the run was really good. It was well cut out by Ward, who's a couple of good challenges and interceptions at the back for Reading. His Wing now steps forward. Nibbs just trips him. Reading will have the free kick. It's a little bit of a mixed side for Reading this afternoon. They played Crawley Town yesterday in a friendly and had some of the first teamers play in that game. So they quickly take the free kick. Lisby on the right hand side taking on Bell. Lays it off for Wing as well, cut out by Nibbs.
You knew I was going to get this in, but he's much better than his dad.
Where's he gone?
That's the beauty. He's
had 2 minutes with you and he's gone all the way downstairs.
Yeah, he did say I can't see well enough. He's probably got a little black book writing all the negative stuff about his son. That's what Liz does.
It's got them relief inside to Hicks, gets it back and the cross lacked sort of direction towards the Reading players. Really nicely worked. Seen a couple of nice 1-2s on this right-hand side for the visitors.
Yeah, I mean they have a specific pattern on it. Well, both sides actually, but it's working quite well on their right-hand side. Charlton's left. I've explained it already. It's the positioning of Hicks that causes the issues, and Lisby's movement's been quite good, whether it's short or long. His movement's good enough to be, found and played in, and they work it quite well down this right-hand side.
The striker Evans isn't afraid to just drop deep either and go wide. Fluid is the word, I think they say, with movement like that. As Ramsey looks for the ball down the line towards Campbell. It's the right idea, but Campbell couldn't quite keep it in.
Tough ball that, when you've only got a 5-yard channel to play in. I like the movement from Campbell. I was sort of suggesting he should have done that kind of run from the possession that Grant had about 15 yards into the Charlton half on their left-hand side. That diagonal was in behind the left back. That one there from right back to right, inside ever so slightly to out, is a tough ball to hit.
Doherty helps it on. Dorset heads it away. Coventry does well to get to it towards Campbell. Comes off Dorset last, and Charlton have the throw. And before we do, we're going to have a drinks break.
Have we got any?
we haven't got a working toilet up here, let alone
we got bought a drink,
drinks,
funny enough. I've seen a picture of it. We've got bought a drink, but it's on the other side.
No, we cannot criticise the club in any way today.
No,
it's such short
absolutely
notice.
not. No,
they've done superbly well to get a game on here, but the opening exchanges, it's 0-0 here in a game that's not been a lot of chances, a lot of nearly moments, and Reading certainly have had a lot more of those wing shot from range, probably the closest either side's come. Charlton have had a couple of balls in the box that caused a bit of potential problems for Reading. That one from Campbell on the right-hand side is the one I can think of when Nibs was maybe not gambling enough for it. But
and the one with Matty in the very early moments, there was a wicked ball across from Campbell in the first couple of minutes, and that is what Matty thrives on. And I think it was just, he'll hate me for saying this, but probably a little bit too early in the game for him. Those little joints won't have got going, and we've all been there. But yeah, look, it's a competitive fixture, and that's exactly what Nathan Jones wants. He wants it to be a tempo where, when you're not getting tight and a cross comes in, he can identify it, and you can use it in analysis. Next week that's unforgivable. If you've got to get a yard or two closer, and you've got to stop that cross, and when that guy moves into that position, you're going to have to move yourself a little bit quicker to deny him possession. So it's a really good friendly at this stage. The tempo's good. Reading are a very good opposition. Like you say, not too many gilt-edged opportunities, but Reading have had probably one or two where they would have hoped to have done better. I think Evans was the one where the missed shot went to him. If he could have sorted his touch and feet out quicker, he would have had an open path to the goal rather than the touch was a little bit underneath him. Then he had to move his body, and that allowed Jones to make the block. We've had the long shot, was it from Wing, wasn't it, the captain?
Yep.
That was just curled wide. So they've had one or two good moments, Reading, but yeah, I think in terms of pre-season friendlies, it's a very good team to play at this stage.
Yeah, and I think what probably still needs to be noticed as well is that, despite Reading having a game yesterday, they brought in a couple of younger players for this fixture. Their side as well that are in the same territory as us in terms of their pre-season. So that side that you saw yesterday, they played against Crawley, wasn't exactly their first team either. So it's a real mixed squad that Liam Richardson's got out there this afternoon. As the game's about to restart, Kane Ramsey to take the throw. Goes back to Jones. Play restarts. Coventry. Goes to Amari Bell. Goes back to Bell. Side to Coventry.
Yeah, I just think, okay, we've kept possession really, really well, but at some stage we need that run. Maybe in behind off the shoulder.
Rams at the ball forward looking for Godden. This ball's headed up in the air. Nibs tries to flick it on, but Godden relief is there. Towards Wing, and now Lisby does well to hold off his man. It's Rinomota. Comes to the left-hand side as trying to force Reading backwards. Here up. He was on the ball. Could win the leaf now. He makes a run down the line as Grant forces it back. Reading's trialist, the centre half, steps forward with it. Lisby tries to take it past Bell, but just runs out of room ever so slightly. It's a nice idea.
It was tight, wasn't it? I mean, we're right above that. You could have argued that didn't look like the whole ball was out, but thankfully it's given.
As Bell takes the throw back to Kamicho. Across to Jones. Goes long. Godden jumps, wins the head up. Campbell tries to get to the second ball, but can't do so.
Yeah, that's tough, because I would have said, take a gamble on Matty winning that, but you don't know where that flick's going to drop. He just held his ground, Campbell, and it was an excellent flick from Godden, but hard one to anticipate. But that was the right ball from Jones, funny enough. The Reading press was in an excellent position, waiting for that short ball in, and they really would have gone hell for leather. They were just waiting for that trigger, and the trigger would have been the first ball into midfield, so he bypassed that. It was a good decision from Jones.
Trialist goes back to Pereira. He's going to be under pressure from Godden. He wants to stay composed and find the trialist again, who goes long. Lisby the target. Lets the ball bounce. Kamicho comes across and deals with it. Bell can't keep the ball in play though. And the leaf throws backwards. Trying this out to Godwin the leaf inside his wing, who just drops deep to receive and across to Ward, and Charlton will now look to press as Dorset up against Campbell. All across to the trialist, and Charlton have done well to force the ball all the way back to Pereira.
Yeah, needs to get the back line up, condense play, try and get the press going. Back line was a bit slow to get up, and then the gap between the units becomes too big. That suits Reading.
Lisby trying to hold off Doherty. It's a nice little turn for Kyrus Lisby inside his wing. Reading will look to attack again as Ramsey does superbly well. Brilliant sliding challenge to prevent Reading from potentially causing.
Needs Tyrese to show up the feet. It's an impossible ball to get it in behind from that angle. He has shown up, and it's paid dividends.
He's trying to play on Godden back to Ramsey. Like that. Dorset might have been held off by Campbell off the ball there. Nothing was given. Play continues. Commentary across to Kamicho. Balls over the top of Godden. Won't quite reach Campbell. As Remoto, good challenge from Nibbs, wins it back. Tyrese Campbell now. Doherty makes a run inside, as does Nibbs, but ball from Campbell.
Just the one in the box, yeah. It's not the worst ball in the world, but it needs Grant coming in from behind, and it needs, Nibbs has done brilliant. I'll tell you what he has done well in this game. He's dropped into their midfielders and stolen the ball from the opposite side. And he's just done it again there, which is why he couldn't get into the box. But just wondering why, and I can't tell you why, because I was looking at the play down the right-hand side, why Grant wasn't up in an advanced position to make the most of that delivery from Campbell.
It's better from Charlton. They force Ward into a long ball forward, and Kaminski comes out of his goal to collect as Jones out to Ramsey. Inside is Nibbs, who's got time. Back to Doherty.
Again.
Doherty does well to avoid two Reading challenges. Doherty steps forward. Out to Campbell. Box is cleared away by Dorset, and Charlton went the throw.
Yeah, and we've got to understand that we've reversed his position. He's been playing for 2 or 3 years in that left-hand spot, cutting inside on the right, where he's really dangerous, where he can get that in-swinger delivery or the shot. From this position, he doesn't look like he wants to come inside and link up or get the shot away on the left. So when he gets even half a yard on that right, it's a trigger to make your movement in the box or fill the box.
Jones. Short to Grant. Tried to step inside wing. He did well to read that, and Reading looked to counter. Lisby. And the leaf inside to wing.
Yeah, so the set's good. You're looking at behind the ball, set's good. When are we going to trigger? When are we going to press? And when we go, are we going together and quick?
Jones does well to win the header, and Ramsey is back towards Kaminski. Comes across to try and keep it in play. Has he done so? No. will be a Reading corner. There's been a couple of those where the ball's not quite going back to Kaminsky, or he's not been able to keep it in play.
Yeah, it's the first. We haven't really had a lull yet. It's been played at a good tempo. Normally, pre-season friendlies have a 5-10 minute lull, and the way they're all walking into this set for the corner might be the first one. They all look like they're just getting a little bit.
Break, haven't they?
Well, yeah, but they all look like they're just having a little bit of a breather.
Wing to take the corner. Towards the far post. There's a queue of Reading players, but Kaminsky does well to get the first contact. Still not properly cleared as Jones heads it away. Lisby now to wing and delivers a good ball again towards the far post. Amari Bell had to watch that all the way. Brilliant defending at the far post, but Reading will have another corner.
Yeah, just got to be really careful. I think we've defended that really, really well. A couple of really brave headers. Excellent from Jones, excellent from Kaminsky, but yeah, I think Hicks just about 12-14 yards out there. We'd gone to the secondary phase and we'd not picked up one or two players on the edge of the box beyond the penalty spot. Just got to make sure we take care of everyone, not just let the big boys head it.
Corner's taken, headed away by Grant. Hicks first to it. Back in the penalty area he goes, and Jones clears it away.
He got a call as well. Kaminsky had a little jump in the air, but you don't take a chance as a centre-half.
Renamotor makes a wayward touch, and Charlton will look to play forward to Coventry, but Godden was coming back from an offside position.
He might have just got himself onside. He could have engaged, but he wasn't to know.
That was a chance though for Charlton, because Renamotor made an awkward touch initially. Godden then won the ball. It broke towards Campbell. He then made the challenge. It fell to Coventry, and that space was there for Godden, but he's just coming back. As you say, he may well have just held his line just that final bit, but the ball was just slightly wayward of him. Oh, the touch back as he kept that in play, no.
Yeah. Again, could he have stepped over that, turned away from it, but choices you make, throw him Reading.
Goldman relief to take. Lisby makes a run down the line. Here's Lisby. Doherty follows him all the way, but Reading will have the corner. Jones not happy. The referee feels that Evans may be pulling his shirt off the ball.
Yeah, and I don't think we do that enough as a team. Getting the referee's ear, highlight things, make him have a look.
Wing to take the corner. Swings it in. It's headed away by Nibbs. Lisby picks it up. Now Hicks has got a wing to the right hand side again. And drives the ball into the penalty area towards the far post, and in the end the Ward tried to control it, couldn't do so, and Charlton had the goal kick.
Yeah, that was a wicked delivery outside of the right, just hanging there, and Kaminsky thought about it for a second. And I think if a keeper if he can't come straight away, if that initial decision means you aren't front-footed, weight going towards the ball, then you do have to stay and let your defence deal with it. A really unusual delivery, like a chipped outside of the right, bending towards the goal.
Kaminsky goes short of the goal kick, across to Kaminsky, down the line to Bell. So towards Doherty, but it's read by Renamotor. Charlton pick up the second ball. There's Grant, that's a lovely first touch beyond the try list, and any other day that's a yellow card. But referee.
I mean, I love the fact he hasn't given. I mean, we've seen a couple of yellows pre-season. We've looked at each other going, "What? Why is he giving a yellow for that?" Now that is the most cast iron yellow card you'll ever see. What I will say is, gone the positive. That turn from Grant was exceptional. He had very little on, and the outside of the right deft touch around the marker and away was terrific.
Ramsey into Godden. And Campbell.
Yeah, you just got to know. You've got to have an idea as that ball comes and you know there's pressure coming quick. What's your first time option? First time option was probably Nibbs, taking up an advanced position in the back line.
Still 0-0 here. Sun glazed valley. Been lucky with our summer days here in pre-season. As Coventry back to Ramsey. Jones under pressure from Evans. Nice little side step, and now look to switch the play across towards Grant. Grant will pick it up. Bell's made a run down the line. Grant's looked for him. That's a good ball. Bell holds it up. Grant offers an option, but Bell instead finds Doherty's first touch, lets him down, but he gets to the second ball. He's done well. Doherty's got free for company. He's done really well, the skipper. Out to Grant. Quick ball in's a good one. He's taken a deflection en route. A little header from the trialist, just took it away from Charlton bodies. Fell comfortably for Pereira. That was a good move.
It was, and Doherty done incredibly. A referee did well as well to play the advantage because he had his whistle to his mouth, let Doherty go. And Grant loved to see that. One touch, in swinging ball, 3 in the box, which is good to see as well. And that little touch killed it. Absolutely killed it.
Jones now for Charlton, who are just starting to enjoy a little bit of possession. Ramsey makes a run down the line, and that's where the ball goes towards. Cut out by the trialist. Can Nibs get to the second ball? No, not quite.
Again, but that pass, Greg's got to be outside the 18-yard box with a bit of width. The channel was wide open. No need to risk it next to the two centre halves. I thought Campbell drew the fullback out. Ramsey occupied the space that was left, and it just had to be put into the channel. Didn't need to put that one on offer at all.
Wing out to Godwin Malief. Back to the trialist, who has time in the centre circle. And a motor now to wing. And Ward out to Dorset, and ball back to Ward. Will invite pressure from Godden. Pereira outside his penalty area, not being closed down at the moment. Charlton just trying to shut off potential passes. Finds the trialist. Malief just about kept that in.
Yes, I think that's how you want it to look as a press. It comes to the right hand. It's one of the centre halves, and as soon as they drive out with it, force them into the wider option, which is the two fullbacks. And once the fullback gets it, that's when you go hell for leather. If they have to go back to the keeper and start again, great. But you go for this ball now that we've just seen. That's when you really want to apply the press. And it's down to the opposition to conjure up something to, get round or through or over the top of.
When the leaf ball down the line, Lisby will chase. Camacho comes across. There's work still to do. Just pulled back by Lisby. Charlton will have the free kick. Camacho to take. Jones out to the right to Ramsey. As Doherty down the line. Ball inside to Nibs. Will find Harvey Nibs, who's able to turn, and out to Grant on the left-hand side. Grant's first touch. Just lets now slightly, but he recovers and he goes on a run. Carlin Grant out left is Bell. Bell across goal is palmed away by Pereira. Doherty trying to get to the ball at the far post, but that was a nice move. Bell's ball in was well dealt with by Pereira.
Yeah, that's Charlton's best move by country mile, starting deep, and the movement was purposeful and well timed. Reading have got a front six and they press, so they don't want you to play out, but that does leave this huge gap between their back four and their deepest lying central midfielder, and we exposed it that time with Nibs dropping in late and receiving and being able to turn. He then gets the ball out to Grant, and I thought Grant taking the full back inside to leave the channel wide open for Bell was exceptional as well. And Lisby not recovering with Bell quick enough, which allowed him to get in behind and get that cross shot away. And that's, I think, the first time really we've called Pereira into action. But that was a really good move from deep in our sort of right back, right sided centre half position through the lines and out to this left hand side. Very good move from Charlton.
And a motor across to the trialist, and Charlton to potentially push up and put pressure on as Godwin Malief has it. Inside to wing. promoter, just currently in the left-back spot as Dorset's made a run forward, come out by Doherty. Ward out to Dorset, closed down by Doherty, and good work again from Charlton this occasion, just trying to stop Reading play.
Yeah, I mean, we've boxed over, haven't we? And it's easy to say and very difficult to do, but one throwing in, back and across the pitch, they've got a very good opportunity to switch play, but it's easy to say that and very difficult to do. You know, and Charlton are doing what most teams do, boxing over, making it tight, making play predictable down the left-hand side. Charlton's right, which they've done, and they've pressurised and won the throw-in.
Ramsey takes back to Lloyd-Jones. So back from Coventry and back to Kaminski. Metro across to Jones, who looks forward. Godden, real player in advanced area, though Grant's made a great run from left to right, and we've got the end of this ball. Grant controls, looks up, takes on the trialist. Ball across is a good one. Pereira palms it away as Godden lurking. Nibs at the far post as well. It's a great idea from Grant, and Pereira called into another save.
Yeah, haven't seen runs like that since John Robinson back in the day. That mad run he used to make from left wing all the way across in behind their opposite fullback. Grant's just done something similar, got himself a 1v1. And I'm impressed with the fact we got Godden up alongside that, because it's a really quick break. You've got Godden in the box, Nibs in the box, and Bell coming in round the back. Really good move, excellent ball in from Grant. And a touch fortunate, I think, from a Reading perspective, that touch didn't fall into the path of Godden. But again, Pereira called into action.
Well, Ramsey trying to head it back to Kaminski, got it slightly wrong, and Reading had the corner. But certainly the last 10 minutes or so, it's much more positive in the final third for Charlton, and if it wasn't for, say, 2 bits of decent goalkeeping, maybe the ball falling elsewhere, Charlton might have got a goal out of that. Instead, Reading have the corner, it'd be wing to take. It's a shot box, and Ramsey heads it away. Kaminski felt he was being held.
Yeah, I think when a keeper doesn't get a touch on it, the natural thing to do is to go to the ref. And I've got to say, either way, I don't know. I wasn't watching. I was watching the header, and I was looking at Ramsey, and he was a bit late on the flight, if I'm honest. That's why you've seen it skid off the top of his head and out. I think he was expecting a challenge from behind, and he sort of half ducked his neck. But I'd bet Kaminski probably wasn't blocked either. He just couldn't get there.
Wing to take on the opposite side now, front of the covered end. Doesn't beat the first man, which is Grant, and heads it away. Hicks back into the penalty area. It's awkward, and Jones heads it away. Camacho gave a call, but it was last minute. And Nibs just dangles a leg out and catches his man. Yeah. Godwin Malif, so it'd be a free kick for Reading just before.
Just a couple of things. There was so much air underneath that ball back into the box, and it only come down about 7 yards out. Kaminski, you have to make a decision, you have to make it quick, and, indecision is the worst decision you can make. But I just felt like he could have come for that and take the pressure off Jones. And then obviously Nibs was just got caught with the weight on the front foot, couldn't pull out of the challenge. But this does give Reading a very good opportunity from 23 yards, maybe 15 yards left of centre. I'd guess a right footer.
It's going to be Lewis Wing, captain. He's got wonderful technique. He's certainly capable from difficult situations, that's for sure. It's a tall Charlton wall. As Wing takes, it's over that wall, and Kaminski's beaten. It's a brilliant free kick. And Reading take the lead with a wonderful strike from Lewis Wing.
Yeah, so then it does go back to, moments in games, micro decisions. Could have Thomas come for the upended ball into the box? Could have Nibs just slowed down a fraction earlier and not given away those free kicks? I used to, call them unnecessary free kicks. Don't give them away, because any set piece leads to a free kick in this instance, but even a wide free kick, if they're unnecessary, it gives the opposition a chance to load your box to get a shot away. And that's an exquisite free kick, up and over the wall very, very quickly. Kaminsky didn't even bother going for it. It was that good. It was that well executed. Reading League.
There's Kaminsky across to Jones, and now Ramsey. So towards Godden, lets it run, and Nibs will go. Second ball is dealt with by the trialist, and Reading clear it forward. Jones with the header, but straight to Lisby. Looks up, just stands on the ball, and Doherty going to get there. But there is the half-time whistle just before the break. A wonderful free kick from Lewis Wing. The difference between the two sides is after Charlton enjoyed the best spell of the game, where two dangerous balls in the box from Amari Bell and Carlin Grant saw Joel Pereira forced into saves. Before that, there wasn't really a lot of action. Wing himself had a shot from range that was narrowly wide. Reading looked a little bit more lively in the first 30 minutes, but at half-time here, it is Charlton 0, Reading 1, and as Brownie, I'll get your thoughts on that. I think the highlights will be playing in the background, but from a Charlton perspective, an avoidable goal because of the circumstances you mentioned before that, where there were moments where, I mean, even the initial corner way before that was a mistake from Charlton trying to head it away, and Kaminsky not quite getting there. Then the corner was cleared, then the foul, etc. But just a little bit of a shame that that's the manner in which led to the free kick. But it was a wonderful strike.
Yeah, an exquisite execution. But you know what? Like, they only become problematic, Greg, when they lead to goals. You'd be amazed how much doesn't get analysed because it doesn't lead to much. But in terms of, you think about an individual's process on a football pitch and how many micro decisions you have to make. You can be coached within an inch of your life, but there are still moments in games where do you go, don't you go, based on where the ball bounces, your opponent, etc. Does your keeper come, stay? You know, there are. I can't put a number on it, but let's say 150 micro decisions you have to make in a game. There's probably more. You know, do you make the challenge? Do you stop up short and try and push the player wide? You know, all the things that you think are very simple, they've got to be made in a quarter of a second. And you know, Nibs is tired. We're at the end of the first half. He's put a little bit of a shift in. Now the right thing to do there was hold up, pull yourself up, show the guy, you know, hopefully outside, and then try to apply some pressure, get the ball into the wide area and protect the centre of the box. He couldn't do that. He went to try and nick the ball. That's the micro decision. I think I've got this. I think I can win it. Didn't get it. Free kick, goal. You know, so you know there are hundreds and hundreds of decisions within that first 45 minutes that will have been incorrect decisions that the player makes, but they don't get highlighted because they don't lead to that. But then, you know, at some point Nathan Jones will go through an analysis and will say, look, could you stay on your feet there? You know, I don't want free kicks given away around the edge of the box. I don't want free kicks in wide areas, allowing them to load our box with centre halves and a threat from a set piece, which we all know statistically are, you know, vital across the season. But look, in terms of workouts, I thought that was a really good workout. I guess if you want something, if you're Nathan Jones, you want to see us be a little bit more proactive in the final third. You know, in terms of, we've had a couple of good moments, but we haven't had any real gilt-edged opportunities. We've had some great crosses flash across the box, but at the moment we're not backing that up with enough movement in there or enough players in there at the right times. But look, it's 45 minutes, in the can again. It's a very hot day. It was an unfortunate decision to make the challenge, but I've enjoyed watching that first 45.
Well, there you are. There's the thoughts of former Charlton and Reading defender Steve Brown here up in the gantry. Myself and Brownie.
Do you know I scored one goal for Reading? Have a guess who it was against?
Crystal Palace.
Oh, you are a bit of a statter, aren't you?
I just remember you telling me about it, to be honest.
That's the only goal I scored from, so I'll tell everyone. Made a tackle once.
Well, yeah, no one wants to hear it.
Yeah, okay. Boring. I got told by upper management that my stories about pre-season bore everybody and to stop.
No, they don't, mate.
It's just him. He's jealous. He never kicked a ball.
Afternoon, Gavin. We're myself and Brownie will go for a break, and I'm sure texts will be flooding in for Mr. Brown's phone. But while we do so, there are some highlights being played of that first half, and then enjoy myself and Brownie in about 5-10 minutes time here on Charlton TV, live on website and on YouTube. Cross goal was palmed away. Takes it over that wall. Kaminsky's beaten. It's a brilliant free kick. And really take the lead with a wonderful strike. Well, welcome back to Charlton TV, live on website and on YouTube for this pre-season friendly between Charlton and Reading here at the Valley. Very welcome, and I hope you're enjoying the coverage, and I think maybe Reading fans might be tuning in as well. We hope you're enjoying the commentating. For myself, Greg Stubble, alongside me, former Charlton and Reading defender Steve Brown, who is raring to go for the second half.
I am. You just remind me of something. Reading fans tuning in, I think they used to have 12 for Reading fans everywhere. So shirt was dedicated to all Reading fans around the world, I think. I'm sure someone will tell me I'm talking absolute nonsense there if they're listening, but I'm sure that was something. That was something back in the day.
Yeah, I seem to recall that as well, seeing it on a team sheet or something like that.
Yeah.
We'll get your thoughts ahead of this second half in a minute, Brownie, but there will be a couple of Charlton changes at half-time. Miles Leaburn is coming on for Matty Godden. And Leonard Alley's going to get his first outing in a Charlton shirt. He's going to replace Carl and Grant. So Godden and Grant played 45 on Tuesday and 45 today. Leaburn and Alley are on. Charlton bench also has Will Mannion, Reece Burke, a trialist, Asinwe, Messick, McNamara, Alafe, Rankin Costello, Fuller, Sichenje could get his first outing in pre-season. Kanu, Goff and Mwamba. Reading, I don't think have made any changes, so that we don't always get told, but there is a board today.
Look, just really quick, tighten up the numbers. No, they look exactly the same.
There we go. The wise words of Mr. Brown as play continues. There is another Charlton change that I missed as well. The trialist is on for the second half, and off comes Connor Coventry. So 3 Charlton changes at the break. As Kaminsky gathers the ball, so just final confirmation of that. The trialist on for Coventry, Ali on for Grant, and Leaburn on for Godden. As Leaburn on the ball, back to Doherty, takes the touch beyond wing, down the line to Ali. Tried to flick it back to Bell, but couldn't quite do so.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't really want to be receiving possession on the sideline with 2 for company. He wants it on the front foot, looking at the player he's up against, his opposite number, and running at him.
Have the ball through Ward. Goes back to Pereira. Ward will look forward again. On ball down the line, Jones comes across and heads it away. Ball goes out of play for Reading throw. Ward inside to wing. Goal scorer for Reading. Difference between the two sides, and Ramsey couldn't quite clear the ball. Comes back to Evans. Now Hicks in the edge of the penalty area. Out to Lisby, trying to well to get bodies back, but Reading still in the final third. But when they leave, ball down the line looking for Hicks, who does well to keep it in, and Kaminsky took no chances, stretched and just poked the ball away. Reading will have the corner.
Yeah, come from a little bit of a lazy touch from Ramsey. He defended the situation well, covered off the inside channel, was recovering well, and then I'm not sure what he was trying to do, whether he was trying to control it. You know, if he was, it was just 4 or 5 yards off his boot. So, you know, you'd like to just see the fullback deal with that, put his left foot through it and advance the ball forward, because from that has come a decent attack from Reading, and that's led to this corner.
Wing takes. Decent ball in. It's flicked on by Dorset. It'll be kept alive. Back to Lisby. Hicks of the ball in. Kaminsky calls for it and covers well and rolls it out straight away to Ali. There's the trialist in support. Ali the ball down the line for Leaburn. Leaburn, nice cut inside, and he's been brought down by Hicks.
It's good all round. Good claim from Kaminsky. Good bowl out. Excellent tuck inside from Ali. We know he's going to cut from outside to in. And I like the run from Leaburn, and really good feet to draw the foul. Still want to see him, just like I see a couple of things from Miles. Can he hold the ball up a couple of times, bring a midfielder into play, and can he spin off the shoulder a couple of times? All the other stuff we know he can do well, but think with that frame, with that physicality, he could be a lot more physical up against the centre halves, and he could offer that little spinning behind and off the shoulder from time to time.
Tries to the ball forward. It's a wonderful run from Campbell and very nearly a wonderful pass as well. Immediately looked up. And for those who watched Tuesday night, we can say it's the same trialist. We're just not still allowed to officially name him.
I'm not. It's just ridiculous. Did that come out loud? It's not.
Swing. Pulled down the line. Miramota. There's options to his left. One of those. Cuts inside, goes for goal. Kaminsky gets something to it. Palms it back into a dangerous area and Jones has to clear it away.
Yeah, and again, it's not what you want to see from Ramsey, really. That was really passive defending. And give the Reading winger credit. Drove at Ramsey, committed him, got on the inside, onto that right foot and got the strike away, causing Kaminsky to make that save low to his right. But you need to see more, really, from a defensive point of view.
Wing to take the corner. Hicks is completely free towards the edge of the penalty area. As Hicks offset into the penalty area and comes across to head it away. Wing has the ball again. Inside to Lisby, cuts back inside, goes for goal and well headed away by Jones. Hicks with the ball in once more. Lieburn this time with the header away and Nibs will give chase, but Reading still have the ball. Charlton maybe a little bit slow to push out. Kahira will take on Campbell. And the trialist out to Ward, his centre-half partner. Kahira steps inside now. Cross to Lisby. Thinks about a shot again. Doherty this time with the block. Jones heads it away again, but Jones still not able to properly clear. Bell with a header forward, and Doherty does indeed clear now, and ball forward to give Lieburn something to chase on the left-hand side, and Charlton can counter-attack it. Lieburn holding the ball up. There's Ali behind him. The ball's just gone beyond Nick stalls, and Reading will to attack again as Wing switches the play. Kahira did well to control initially, but then his second touch off of his fight.
Yeah, I mean, you spoke about Reading having had a pre-season friendly last night. We did that previously, in terms of, when you start needing to see players play 70, 80, 90 minutes, that's why you split friendlies and you split the teams into, 2 equal 11s, or as equal as you can make them, and you make sure those players go and get 70, 80, and it's, we've got ourselves in a position where I think these players are comfortable playing 60. They know their time's coming up in a minute. Like, the tempo has absolutely dropped. It's visually you can see it.
I think Charlton have a pre-season game on Tuesday behind closed doors as well.
Okay.
So
then
I'm not sure who'll be playing in that.
Yeah, then I would say these guys can stay out for 70, 80. If that's the plan. We'll see. We'll see what unfolds.
There's Ali closing down. Godwin Malief brings him down. Yeah, I'm not sure who it's against or whether it's just a game against each other. Two different squads, I'm not sure, but Nathan Jones did allude to the fact that will happen.
Yeah, I'm just a believer. You need to take your body into those depths of, I need to get through 70, 80, 90.
As Ward steps forward, a good challenge comes in from Nibs. Oh, the referee's given a free kick.
Yeah, I thought the ball was touched first before the connection with the player. I actually thought Nibs did all right there.
Yeah,
he's been a bit unlucky.
I can agree. And as there's no fans here, we can also boo.
Yeah. This does, you said earlier, this does feel very COVID-like.
Yeah, and they are hard games to commentate on when there's no atmosphere. You do miss it. I do miss having the Charlton fans here. As Wing will take the free kick.
We nearly brought the drum up, didn't we?
Yeah, we did see the drum. Yeah, I was tempted. If Tell was up with us and I was doing something in the background, I would have borrowed it. I'd have kindly taken it off the guys. As the ball's out to Wing. Wing down the line. Kahira looking to take on Campbell. Cuts inside. Lays it back to Wing. Ball in the box is headed away by Camacho. As Leeburn looks to switch the play towards Nibs. The ball's been blocked and Camacho had to clear it away towards Leeburn, but wing. The touch out of play, Charlton throw. Looks like changes are incoming.
Yeah. And I think players know that. They know they've only got to do a 5 or 10 minute job.
Doherty now for Charlton out to Ramsey as Campbell close by, cuts inside. To Nibs instead, who looked to turn, but the challenge comes in from Ward and Reading win the ball back. They are looking to take on Ramsey. So Rankin Costello and Wamba are the two players about to come on. Looks like there might be more changes. McNair and Burke also look like they're ready. Across to Ward. Dorset back to Ward again as Nibs tries to apply a bit of pressure as Pereira the ball forward. Jones with the header and he helps it on. Leeburn will compete and gets to the ball. Miles Leeburn holds off wing. Got Ali on the left-hand side. Here is Ali in the penalty area. Ali looks up across to Campbell. Can he finish? No, he can't. And Nibs couldn't quite direct his header on target either.
Yeah, and it's very brave, but you've put it where volleys are made, not the other way around. So defenders absolutely entitled to go for that. And Nibs, as brave as it is, has come off worse. But that was excellent from Leeburn. He's shown a couple of really good touches in his second half. Even that one deep just moments ago where at least he was positive, looked up and tried to play Nibs through the middle. It got blocked, but the initial receive, taking on of the player looking up and trying to play forward was excellent. That little bit of skill there was terrific. Away from the defender, poked it out wide to Ali, and he's looked lively since he's come on. But that, I'm hoping Nibs is okay. I think he might be coming off anyway, maybe.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, that was good play from Leeburn. As you say, Ali then with the cross towards the far post. Campbell, first time volley, just couldn't quite direct it where he wanted it to go.
Yeah. To be honest with you, that is a tough. When it bounces coming at pace like that, you will really want it full. You want that to hit you full so you can get your foot through the back of it, directed towards goal. But once it comes off the surface at pace like that, it's really difficult skill to from that angle to get that away. But yeah, the positive part was the Leeburn build-up with Ali. And I like to see the wide player just touch, because you can make your runs off that. If it's just touch, deliver, get your half a yard and deliver, and it's coming in, you can make your runs off that in the box. What you don't want to see is a chop back, then another chop back, because it just kills you in terms of your movement in the box.
Well, it will be a Charlton corner. Nibs is back on his feet. It's okay to continue. I can't actually see anyone preparing to take this corner. I think Ali has been instructed to come across now. Jones is on the sideline. We'll need to get the penalty area sharpish. That Nibs is not going to come back on, I don't think. Oh no, he is being allowed to. It looked like Charlton were going to make the change. And Nibs is going to stay on for this corner. Rankin Costello is waiting to come on, but he's sent back. Be Ali to take.
What's happening?
I'm not quite sure, to be honest.
What is happening?
I'm not entirely sure.
I think the referee thinks we're making the 4 subs. We're not making the 4 subs. So can we just get the corner done? And
well, Ali will go across to take. And whips it in. Decent looking delivery. And it's a header from Ramsey, but won't hit the target. Ward will see that out of play. And we might well see these subs now come in, and we do.
Yeah. But again, you look at that corner. Ramsey's in early. Balls are behind him. Impossible to get that on target. But yeah, I think the four players you mentioned will all be coming on. Doherty is already sprinting off, as is Camacho, as is Ramsey. I don't mean Camacho, hopefully.
Yeah, Camacho. I mean, he played a lot of minutes on Tuesday, to be fair, so it's back-to-back for him. So he's off. Jones didn't play at all Tuesday, so he'll play more. But Burke's on. McNara will come over to right back in place of Ramsey. Mwamba one for Doherty. Frankie Costello will play as an advanced midfielder in place of Nibbs. No Sonny Carey involved today. We'll wait for Nathan Jones post-match. The club to speak to Nathan. Identify why that might be, but Reading have the goal kick. They made a change themselves. And the trialist has come off. I won't see confirmation of the player that's come on, but Charlton will have the throw. Phil Duers, the player's come on, number 38. That's Burke. Charlton out to the right to Jones. To McNara. On the line to Campbell. Inside to the trialist. For Charlton. Across to Burke. Now Bell. And he steps inside. The trialist looks forward towards Mwamba. It's just over his head and now he gives chase, but too much on that. Prepares to roll up the ball. Cross to Dua, the substitute for Reading. Looks forward and ball crosses headed away by Jones. Mwamba helps it on. Wing inside to Rinamoto, who's got time to turn. Out to left to Dorset, he's got close by McNara. Wing falls to the floor. I'm not sure he was fouled, but the referee disagrees and Wing gets on with things. Quickly taking a free kick. Wing gets it back. Lisby makes a run forward. Wing instead goes for goal from range, and that's high into the Jimmy Seed.
Yep. I think Goldwyn Malif will have something to say about that. He's in an excellent advanced position as a fullback. Should have just rolled him in. But just need this game to just up its tempo a little bit. Look more like a pre-season friendly again, an exhibition game.
Burke out to Bell. He's long with the ball forward. Lieberman can't get there, and Reading will have the throw. Throwing to a wing who helps it on, but out of play for jump and throw. Kaminski to Jones. Campbell close by on the right hand side. Campbell the ball down the line looking for McNara. It's cut out, but Charlton with the throw. McNara takes into Lieberman. Nice touch and ball back to Frankie Costello. Gives it to Lieberman again. Lieberman goes for goal. Saved by Pereira. Ali trying to get to the rebound. It's up in the air. Pereira should gather and punches it away.
Yep. Worth going for. I thought that was excellent again from Lieberman. He's looked bright and lively since he's come on. I mean, that's going back a year or two, isn't it? That give and go to lose the defender, little set, spin off the shoulder, breaking through. The shot was the right shot across the keeper into the far corner, that right-hand post of Pereira's. It's a good save from the Reading goalie. We just couldn't get the follow-up. But really good play again from Miles Lieberman.
Pereira has to take the free kick in the end. That was given. Yeah, voice crack. Cheers, Brownie.
That's all right. Just looking for anything to have a lighten the mood. You know?
I usually hang over to tell at this point. I'm not used to this. Having so much talking to do. As Pereira takes. Jones with the header away towards Campbell. And a ball down the line. Jones clears it away. McNara helps it on. John trialist inside now to Mwamba. Now Bell. Inside to the trialist. Looks to switch the play towards Campbell. So cuts it out. Campbell does really well to track him back.
It's actually a purposeful run as well. Short to go in behind. The ball didn't make it, and then a reaction of the
the ball back might find Ali, and Ali got a touch there. The goalkeeper did really well to react. It was a ball back from Dewar that left goalkeeper short. Ali got a touch to the ball, just couldn't get over the top of Pereira. Did really well to recover.
Yeah, hindsight's a wonderful thing. Could he have just rounded? Pereira was committed to the save to try and get as close to Ali as he could. Could have just popped it round him. But either way, great opportunity from a back pass that was left short. You have to give the keeper credit. Got on top of that, made a lovely save.
Jones out to Campbell. All right, he's close by. Here's McNara. He's in field, looks towards the trialist. It's a good idea. Wing comes across. He's waiting for his goalkeeper. It's a good chance there, and Pereira does well. Always seems to have a decent game against this Pereira.
Yeah, we've had some opportunities. Lee Burns effectively is, breaking away 1v1. That's a brilliant save low down to his right. That one there on the short back pass, excellent save from Ali. He's made some good interventions, Pereira. But I was just going back to that Campbell, because I can be, at times saying he could pick things up a little bit quicker, be a bit brighter. But that was really good in terms of the movement in behind. The ball from deep wasn't good enough from the trialist. I nearly said it, nearly. and actually the reaction to it falling short and the turnover of possession led to him chasing down as well.
Burke with the ball down the line towards Bell is a good one. And back to Ali. His first Charlton appearance. Back to Burke. And the trialist. Inside to Burke again. It's well to hold off his man, Reece Burke. And the ball forward towards Ranking Stello is a good one, but it looked like a good one just beyond him. And the referee's pulled it back for the free kick as he's being held, Reece Burke. The trialist prepares to take. Just close by to his right. Comes in towards the far post. Jones wins the header. Wing's able to get across just to clear it away, and now Reading will look to break. Motor out to Hicks. There's Lisby down the line. Here is Lisby. Trialist does really well to get back, but Lisby turns with a good cross in towards Evans with a header. Beyond Kaminsky, and Reading make it to a really nice counter-attack. Lisby with a wonderful ball in, and Evans, the young striker, cross to make it 2.
Yeah, wonderful counter-attack. That's from our set piece, of which we made first contact as well. Again, we had 4 players sort of at the back post. No one really got across to react to the header from Jones, who headed it back down into the middle of the 6. And from that point, give Reading enormous credit. They got the ball out. They moved it between the units, of which we didn't have one because it was in the opposition penalty box. But they moved it on forward. I will say again, the movement from Lisby off the shoulder was terrific. And you're right, the trialist got done ever so well to get back. Goal side, but Lisby had the foresight to cut back on that left. Wicked delivery. Lovely little chip ball, begging to be attacked. And that's a really good header from Evans, because there wasn't a lot of pace on that ball. And he's directed it lower and into the bottom left-hand corner as he looks, right-hand corner as Kaminsky is defending the goal. And it found the back of the net comfortably. Reading lead 2-0. That was an excellent counter-attacking move.
The young striker who spent time alone at Torquay United last year. With the goal as there's a drinks break. That's disappointing from Charlton perspective, as you say. It's all from a corner. And Lisby with the cross and Evans with the header. But credit has to go to Pereira as well, who made a couple of really good saves down the other end, which could have seen Charlton easily equalise. But again, you'd rather these things happen in pre-season. Learning from mistakes, learning how we can defend better from our own corner, which sounds a bit silly, but the setup.
Right, so what happens is, and I said it earlier, right, we've got ourselves into a mindset where we know the changes are coming, 60 minutes, so the ones that come out second half now, they've only got to do 10 or 15, so you have a little bit of a low tempo start. And then, you know, the jobs aren't being done as well as they should be once you make the multiple changes. So we put a ball in, we wouldn't make first contact, we haven't got across the middle of the 6 yard. If it goes over your head from a set piece towards the far post or beyond, your job when you're one of the players in the centre is to watch that go over and then adjust. How far can Lloyd Jones head that? He wants to direct it into the middle of 6. We had all of our 4 players ahead of the ball beyond that point and towards the far post as it becomes as Jones heads it. We haven't had the edge of the box protected properly, otherwise they wouldn't have had the counter attack. So you're right in as much as Nathan Jones can go, right, okay, we've made these mistakes, but there is a responsibility, Greg, for players coming on to attack these friendlies in the manner they should be, that you should know your jobs absolutely to the letter. So that's the whole point of pre-season. You are honing yourself ready and willing to be able to, you know, put yourself through 90 minutes next Saturday, and then obviously for that big one against Derby.
Reading get the game. Charlton get the game back underway.
Okay.
Back and Burke won't get that. And Reading will have the corner.
Yeah. And all of a sudden if you're Nathan Jones, you've just got to get a bit more quality out on the pitch, and they've got to, you know, even the way they're walking back into this set piece, we've got to pick the pace up, try and end the game strong. But that's a ball back from almost the halfway line's led to a Reading corner.
I've seen a few of those today. I think that's been a bit disappointing, where unnecessary corners given away. As Wing prepares to take again. It's a near post, and he gets the first touch, and then a good sliding challenge comes in from Hicks, and he wins another corner. It's been impressive for Reading. 2 young players, Hicks and Evans, have both looked good, in fairness. As Wing comes across to take again. Ball in the box, headed away by the trialist, and Lisby first to it. Then headed away by Jones. Lisby gets the ball back. The trialist does well to pick it up for Charlton now. Rankin Costello to Mwamba. Just trying to counter themselves, but run out of room a little bit. And Ali trying to take it beyond Wing, and makes a good sliding challenge. Charlton with the throw. About to take. Goes forward towards the trialist, who stand by Evans, back to Mwamba. To McNara, inside to Campbell. Back to Mwamba, that's good football from Charlton. Rankin-Costello releases McNara, who has Campbell close by. McNara with the ball in, it's a dangerous one, and Dewar facing his own goal. Clears it behind, but that was brilliant play from Charlton. That was much better.
That was a super move. You know, very rarely do we see balls in first time around a corner, one touch cross into the box. That was dynamic. The support positions were terrific. Balls in were the correct weight. We very rarely see first time around a corner. That was excellent from Charlton. Great break.
Trying to take the corner short. Campbell across to McNara. It's about a strike. McNara goes for it, but it's over the bar. I think it was a designed corner to see McNara strike from range, but didn't really have a lot of options to his right. Could potentially have crossed it in, but went for goal instead.
Yeah. You know, I haven't spoke about McNamara, and I'm sure plenty's been said. I don't look. But let me tell you the one thing I can tell you from watching him, he is wholehearted. He will give you everything. And if there's a challenge to be made, he will make it. And he plays with his heart on his sleeve.
Only with a challenge, but it's Colin Leaf at the throw. Goes inside to Wing. The header goes wayward, and will bring it forward for Reading. Looks for the run. And that's good interception from McNara, and Kaminski can gather.
Yeah, had to make it. because he'd covered inside a little bit, left the outside channel open, and he had to get that touch on it.
McNamara. Bell looks forward and keeps it in play. Inside to Moawi, does really well to hold off Evans and then back to Jones, and McNamara's close by, out to the right to Campbell. Now Burke out to the left to Ali, who's top of the touchline, cuts inside, looks for Leeburn, chests it back to Bell, now Mwamba. To Campbell, further right to McNamara. Inside is not quite find his man, and Reading have it back as Yamamoto forward, cut out by McNamara, who looked inside to Campbell. Dorset intercepted, but he's hurt in the process of doing so.
Yeah, I think he's just got his leg caught in the turf. Striking the ball, foot went into the turf, went the opposite way, and his weight was transferring, so that could be quite awkward. That, or he's just tired and he wants to get off. Little Brown move. kick the ground and off you go.
I've heard you do that at home.
Well, no, yeah.
Got to take the bins out. So.
Oh. Got 2 new knees, man.
Well, looks like changes will be incoming again. Doesn't look like Reading are going to make them, though.
No, that's what I mean about the. I mean, it's a good point you make, because that's what I mean about the 2 friendlies.
Yeah,
they're squeezing minutes out of their players towards the latter stages of the game. And I am relatively surprised we're still making changes at 60. 7 days and we go to a cup game. But it is what it is. Like I said, that's just me talking and spitballing here, and they've got all the data and analysis, and they train with these guys every day. They know what they're doing. But I am just a little surprised.
Well, it does mean that Colin St-Chenjay will get his first run out the summer. He's come on for Lloyd Jones. Looks like Ivan Messick is on for Amari Bell. The third change, I think, sees Tanto Alafe on for Tyrese Campbell. As play will restart. Yeah, Nathan Jones, interestingly said, it's been a bit of a disjointed pre-season in terms of players coming back from injuries from last season. Players getting slight knocks in this pre-season. St-Chenjay is an example player that had an injury at the back end last year. Doherty had surgery. Godden had a knee problem as well. St-Chenjay across to McNamara. Forward will give Leeburn something to chase in the channel. So really well Leeburn to come across. And looks up, uses his body. It's good defending from Ward. Did really well, the Reading centre half.
Yeah, good little battle that, because I thought Miles did extremely well to get goal side, get possession of the ball, and he tried a little bit of skill to get away from the Reading centre half. And he's done exceptionally well, Ward, just to read it and then draw the contact for the free kick.
Per to take. Per goes long. St-Chenjay comes to head it away. It's a brilliant header. And Leeburn will give chase against Dewar. Leeburn comes away with the ball. It's just really unlucky, Leeburn. It just wouldn't quite fall for him. In the end, also comes back to clear it away, but there was just a moment there. We got the better of Dewar, and then the bounce of the ball just didn't quite fall the way of the Charlton striker, who's certainly putting himself about in the second half. St-Chenjay inside to the trialist. Burke across to St-Chenjay, and it's good play from the Addicts. As Burke is Messick over to the left-hand side. Inside to Ali's ball back. He's just wayward of Mwamba. Ali did well to win it not once but twice, and Ali goes on a run here. Looks to turn Ward, who just trips him. It's good play from Ali, good recovery after a loose pass. And Charlton had the free kick. And Ali is first to the ball, and I think it's going to be only Ali's to take. For 1 minute, looked like they're going to have a two-man wall. Now they're going to have a three-man. Looks like Ali's going to strike this. It'll be Ali to take, and decent effort which hits the wall, but out of play for a Charlton corner.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure even if it had cleared the wall. Pereira already stepped to his left. It didn't have enough pace in it, I don't think, to catch him out. But we know he's got a decent right foot. We know he can whip that shot in. Seen it on multiple clips. Didn't quite get that one right.
Ali to take the corner. Decent ball in the box just beyond Alafe, and Reading clear it away through Lisby. Tranas picks it back up, and there's Mwamba on the halfway line. That's close by. And Nara to Sechenje. Sechenje again. Ball inside to Ali. It's going the outside over Inamoto, but it's good defending from the Reading man, and Hicks back to wing. Go all the way back to Pereira.
Nice little ball from Sechenje, just finding his feet, but lovely to see. He's looked up and assessed something, then I think he caught people out with that little ball between the lines into Ali. But it's good to see him back in. There's going to be plenty more to come from Sechenje, I think.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the season progresses, what Sechenje's, how many minutes he's able to play, or whether he's going to be first choice. He's got a bit of a battle.
It's been a little disappointing on that front, because nothing from his past, from the old club, suggested he was going to miss portions of the season. He's had 2 injuries where he's just sort of put his hand in the air, and we haven't seen him for 2 or 3 months. So hopefully that side of things improves.
Looks to switch the play. Awkward for Matt Nara. It's a good header down towards Ali to get across towards it, and might have been a foul there. I'm not sure. Oh, the referee's going a free kick to Reading, which maybe seems a little harsh.
He's made 1 or 2 curious decisions. I didn't see that one as a Reading free kick for sure.
Wing takes quickly as Yamota to left hand side. Pereira looking to take on Ali. And Ali trips him. And Reading will have another free kick, this time towards the Charlton penalty area. There's Wing come across to take again, and we saw in the first half what he's capable of, but this one is much further to the left. It completely shocked me if he went for goal, though. He's capable. To strike it, and Travis took up a good position to head it away.
Yeah, he did.
We'll have the corner again.
Yeah, and he's a good size as well. That's a hell of a clearance.
Wing gets it back and goes for goal, and it's a wonderful finish. A short corner. Lewis Wing gets the ball back from Hicks and hit it with plenty of power. Some might think that was an overhit cross, but I think he was deliberate. I think he was trying to test Kaminsky, and he caught it so well. It's beyond Kaminsky, and Reading have a third.
That was too easy, wasn't it? I mean, it's a short corner that's been allowed to be passed in, passed back. No one's even tried to come out. Just lost our way a little bit this second 45. I mean, it's another incredible strike. But Kaminsky set himself, and again, like the free kick, hasn't even tried to make an attempt. Reading 3, Charlton 0.
Trying to get the game back underway. Wing out to the right to Matt Nara. So Lafayette to his right. Back inside to Mwamba. And Sechenje. Mwamba switches the play. That's a lovely ball. Messick controls. Back to Ali. And the trialist to a space, thinks about a shot. Crosses, decent idea towards McNamara, heads it back across and just beyond Alafe and Reading clear. Burke controls inside to the trialist. Sechenje. Across to McNamara. Wings goal coming after 23 minutes here. There's Alafe looking to turn Dorset forward towards Lieber. Back towards Alafe, the ball's just beyond him. Reading clear, only as far as Sechenje. Moamba across to Ali, and now the trialist across to Burke, who won't keep that in, but Messick will. To the trialist, doesn't really know. Really deep, and tries looking for the run of Ray Costello. Just overhit that pass, and Reading will have the goal kick, and they're going to make a couple of changes here with 5 minutes remaining.
That's their coach. If you can hear the clapping, but listen, they've put in a shift.
Hicks and Evans, two young players, have been really, really impressive. For Reading are off. And on comes Emmanuel Osho. Shea Spencer, I think. We'll just have to wait for him to turn around with the shirt number. And in fact, it's actually Luke Howard, the other player, to come on. John have it with Mwamba through the legs of Howard. Comes back to the trialist. Back to Burke. Burke out to the left to Ali. Takes on Lisby. Goes on the outside. Ball in the box is hung up, and ball comes down. McNamara with the strike, but it's over the bar. Got a touch to the cross with the punch, but McNamara couldn't keep his shot down.
Yeah, just got underneath it. It just needed the ball to settle down just a fraction quicker so he could get over the top of the centre line. It didn't, and he rushed the shot because he knew he had to get it away. It was being closed down quickly, and it just got underneath that centre line up and away it went. Again, you know, if you're looking for micro positives, I like Ali when he gets the ball out wide. He's positive, takes people on. That's twice, two, three, I think 3 times he's gone to the byline and got deliveries into the box.
Pro with the goal kick. Ali with a header forward. Costello gives chase. Godwin Malief clears forward. Burke across to Sechenje. To McNamara. On the line to Alafe. Sechenje across to Burke. Sechenje again to McNamara, and Reading did well to force the ball inside. Mwamba on the ball for the Addicts, out to Burke. Costello inside to Mwamba. Good first touch from Alan Mwamba. Looks forward. Messick makes a great run from left back, but he's just offside. It's a shame because that was a nice move. Reading will have the free kick. Let's Reading make another change. Lisby's off.
Oh, he lasted longer than his dad. Saw him creep out about 20 minutes ago. He's put in a shift. He's done well. The execution for the second goal on the counter, the movement off the shoulder was terrific. The cutback and the delivery equally as good.
Shea St. Louis on as his replacement. St. Louis with the ball forward, and Burke now across to Sechenje. Charlton score one before the end. 90 minutes as Sechenje out to McNamara. On ball forward looking for Lieburn, who helps it on. Can only get to the ball first. He got a touch to it. Lafay trying to get there, but couldn't quite do so. Pereira's positioning was good. He's had a good game in goal. Joel Pereira.
Yeah, he has had a good game in goal, actually. He's made a couple of great saves, a couple of good claims. Just while we have this little mini break, I think me and Greg would like to just wish Terry all the very best.
Yes,
his
well
operation.
remembered.
Yep. I know he's listening in, and can't wait to get you back up here, Tel. Hope you're well, pal.
Yeah, back on the grass soon. We hope. And
I don't know
not that kind. Not that kind. That's right. But with the header forward, cleared away by Duat. Charlie's forward to Mwamba. Nice turn. Looks forward. Costello the target, but the ball's just overhit. And Pereira comes to gather. There's Pereira. Go long. Burke ducks and then heads it back towards Kaminsky, and it's out play for a Reading corner. The amount of times I've seen that this afternoon from Charlton where they've just tried to guide it back to Kaminsky and got the header wrong. I think Ramsey had a couple in the first half. There was one earlier in the second half. Of course, Reading scores from it.
Yeah, and it's one of those situations, Greg, as a centre-half, if you allow it to bounce over your shoulder and you head it back to the keeper, it's great. But the minute you do that, like I said to you about micro decisions that go well, no one says anything. The ones that go wrong, you highlight. Deal with the first ball up. I think Burke could have headed that first ball up, plopped it into midfield. We try and play forward, but now we're, defending that corner.
The ball is headed away by Lieben, and there is the full-time whistle after 9 minutes here. It finishes Charlton 0, Reading 3. 2 wonder strikes from Lewis Wing. And Rhys Evans' header. Difference between the two sides. Charlton had good opportunities in the second half, where Miliali almost scored his first Charlton goal. Miles Lieben also saw Pereira into a save. But in truth, Reading were impressive. Wing in particular, with the 2 brilliant strikes, will take the plaudits, but there was good performances out there from a couple of the youngsters from a Charlton perspective. A disappointing way to end pre-season, albeit we're led to believe there is a behind closed doors game on Tuesday, but sometimes in these situations where there is a defeat and things haven't gone the way you would like, you do learn, and hopefully that's what Charlton do today, is learning from this and another pre-season where minutes have been done.
Yeah, so minutes in, you can't preach that pre-season is what it is, and when you get a result you go all doom and gloom. The fact of the matter is we've got a cup game to prepare for next week. If they have got a behind closed doors friendly, it'll be for players that haven't got to the required minutes over the course of pre-season so far. I've said this many times. It's you have to take the impact of this result and performance, but ultimately next week, the week after, are the 2 biggies. There are lots of things during that 90 that I hope we've highlighted in some degree that I think Nathan can go out and improve on in terms of getting messages into the players. And I just hope that by the time we get to next Saturday, and there is there is an outcome that means something, that we are where we need to be performance-wise. But Pereira was excellent today, in terms of some of the saves he pulled off. But I think from our perspective, when you look forward to the championship campaign, we're going to have to be resilient like we were last year. And we certainly need to iron out the goals we're conceding. And that's what I would concentrate on, because we were very, very hard to break down at times last year. And it was the 13-14 clean sheets that got us into the position to win games, and we're gonna have to show more and better resilience than some of the opportunities we're giving up at the moment. But it's another friendly ticked off. I personally can't wait for the start of the season. I've said to you off air, I've said to you on air, pre-season for me, just fast forward it and get me to those competitive games, and that will never change from my perspective. It's great that we get to come out and watch football, but yeah, just fast forward me to when there's something on the games and it's competitive.
Yeah, can never get too high or too low with friendlies, that's for sure. It's all about just getting those minutes in the legs. That's been done. Our lungs are warmed up for the season.
Yeah, I gave it my best shot first 45.
You tailed off second half.
I tailed off. Yeah, a bit like Colchester on Tuesday.
Yes.
You know, but
You
like
spoke
I
more
said,
second
I'm
half.
like a player. Pre-season,
You
I start warming up, and then I get ready to rock and roll when there's something on the game.
Well, Brownie, it's a pleasure as always to be alongside you and your company. It's been a good week for us in terms of pre-season, but not necessarily for Charlton in terms of results, albeit, as we said, it's not always, in terms of pre-season, not always the result that matters. And hopefully it'll be another good week in preparation ahead of next weekend's first competitive game, which is away at Cheltenham Town. You'll be joined by Charlotte and Brownie as they bring you all the action for that one. And until then, we hope you have a good weekend, and thank you for tuning in. And if it's your first time tuning in, we hope you enjoyed the coverage as well. My thanks to Deanna in production, for Simon on camera duties, and we'll see you next week at Cheltenham. Have a good week, everyone. Good night. Takes it over that wall. Kaminsky's beaten. It's a brilliant free kick. And really take the lead with a wonderful strike. So it goes to goal. And he looks up across the Campbell. Can he finish? No, he can't. And Nibs. Good cross in towards. Goes for goal. It's a wonderful finish. Short corner.